Hey all, Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to another edition of Pause and Pray. I don't like to admit this, but it wasn't until I was 18 years old and an undergraduate student at Marquette University that I met somebody who practiced a religion other than mine. And that happened thanks to an introduction fostered by a wonderful professor I had. His name was Dr. John Schmidt. He taught a course called the Introduction to Hebrew Scriptures, or the Old Testament. And as part of our class, we were required to attend a religious service of one of the Abrahamic faiths that wasn't our own. So if we were Christian, we needed to attend a Jewish or Muslim service. And if we were Muslim, a Jewish or Christian, and Jewish, a Muslim or Christian service. I just wanted to get a good grade in the class initially, and the easiest thing for me to do, given schedules and what I discovered, was to attend a religious service with the Jewish community. So I set out on a Saturday morning to attend a service at a synagogue on the northeast side of Milwaukee County, and I didn't know this, but I was actually crashing a bar mitzvah. I entered the synagogue and was surprised that I was greeted as if I were family of the bar mitzvah. Maybe some folks thought I was, not knowing how we were related. But it was a wonderful experience of prayer and hospitality. I had a lengthy conversation with the rabbi after the service. She was incredibly welcoming to me and caring and hospitable. And all throughout, I really felt like I was part of the family. I didn't know it then, but that introduction was going to fan into flame a passion of mine, a passion for interreligious dialogue, also a deep appreciation for the great gift of Judaism, and a deep appreciation for my tradition of Christianity, because the more I've encountered and learned about Judaism over the years, the more I've come to appreciate my tradition of Christianity, which grew out of Judaism. My sense of life expanded greatly thanks to the connection that was fostered by Dr. Schmidt. Today, as people in the Anglican tradition, as well as those in the Roman Catholic and Orthodox traditions, we lift up St. Barnabas the Apostle. We celebrate today, June 11th, as the Feast of St. Barnabas. Barnabas was known as a very generous and idyllic member of the Christian community in Jerusalem. We get some information about him from Acts of the Apostles. But perhaps what Barnabas is most famous for is introducing Paul to Peter and the rest of the apostles. And as Barnabas was this instrument of this connection between Paul and Peter and the rest of the apostles, we come to see that the church was really never the same after that introduction and that connection. As the church's sense of life and mission, thanks to that introduction of Paul to Peter, would expand greatly as people like Paul would be driven out to bring the gospel and the message of the gospel to the Gentile community, to a world that was bigger than could ever have been imagined by so many in the early church. And what an invitation today to pause and to pray about those sacred and holy introductions we've experienced in our lives, where we found our own sense of life expanded greatly. Whether that has come through gifts of people like professors like Dr. Schmidt, who greatly expanded my world in introducing me to Judaism and then to Islam as part of the class. Or maybe it's found personally when we're introduced to somebody through others and there's a first date and suddenly our sense of relationship and love expands greatly. Today's a wonderful opportunity to pause and pray and name some of those Barnabases in our lives. Those people who have fostered sacred introductions that have helped open our lives up to more life and love than we could ever imagine. God's peace and blessings to you all.